XHTML you are using. Your page should understand. Okay. So this is the comment section which I have included. This is the comment tag. So whatever the text between the comment tag is there, it will not be displayed in your page. Okay. This is the namespace attribute in order to avoid the conflicts. Okay. Now coming to the head tag. In head tag we have given as a block codes. So I will just run this part of code so that you can see it. Yeah. Here you can see like the title is block codes. So whatever the HTML you have run, the title is block codes as we have given here. Okay. If you change this block codes text, you can as well as see it. Refresh your page. See block code text. It means whatever the title you have given in the text, you can see it. Now coming to the body tag, where you can have all the set of tags. Okay. So this body should be within a HTML tag. So P style is equal to color. So what is the meaning of style is like in next chapter you will come to know about the CSS, which means it gives some styles to the HTML. With the help of the CSS heading style sheet, you can have different colors for your tags, different representations. It adds style to the page. So this is called as an inline style. We will discuss in detail in further sessions. So when you give the style as some color, this is a color. Okay, this is a color you have given for a particular P tag. So what happens for this Abraham Lincoln? This kind of text can be seen in that particular color. See here. Okay. Okay, now I think you can see it in a better way. I have given a color as red, so you can have your thing as red. It is not mandatory that you need to write the style in the same P tag. You can have an attribute called class, and for that class you can define this color is equal to red in a separate CSS file. Okay, otherwise you can write in a head tag also, like style tag. So about these styles I will discuss in a coming slides. Okay, coming sessions. So now for this session you understand how does a XHTML work. Okay, so here you can write the different style. For example, if you have given a class, like class is nothing but an attribute which assigns some property to the P. For example, color. So class representation will be like dot color. Class is always should be represented by dot. If I write it as ID, it should be hash kind of things. Okay. So the same thing you can see. Instead of here, we can represent it like style. This is called as internal styling. Okay. We have external styling where we can put this piece of code in a separate file and have it as a link here. Okay. Now coming to the next thing, block code. Okay, you have paragraph 1, paragraph 2 embedded within a block code, and you have another paragraph which is outside the block code. So observe like what happens. So block code, it has taken the space from the starting position. It has given some index to your text. So this is the content within the block code. Okay. This is a normal paragraph which starts in a separate line. Okay. Paragraph is a block level element. It won't sit beside another element. It will occupy the entire space of the page. Fine. So this is what a block code is. So I'll do one thing. I'll share all these examples with your teachers so that you can have a better understanding. So for each and every example. Okay. Now let's have another example. Cell align. So this is a table which I just want to understand you about the alignment things. So developing a page which has a columns and rows. I have shown it in your previous classes. But coming to the cell alignments, I just want to show like what will be the left alignment, center alignment, right alignment, default, top and bottom, vertical align and normal align. So here if you can see the example, see, having a comments is a best practice in a programming. Okay, whenever you write what is a kind of what is going on in this whatever is a particular code, if you write the comments, it will be very much useful for your future reference, as well as if any other team member joins your project and if he needs to understand your portion of code in case of unavailability of yourself, then it will be like helpful for them to understand the code, and it's a best practice to have a comment for each and every line. Okay, now coming to the table. So as we discussed, we can have a border for the table, like border is equal to border or any number you wish to give, and for table we can give the caption like the align. And so now in this table we have given a suitable caption like we are going to discuss about the align and v align attributes. Okay, so v align attributes happens is, here you have given a caption, the align and v-align attributes. Okay. Now coming to the next tag. So for table, we define every content in a row. In a row, we can have the uh, whatever the headers you can represent, data, TD you can represent. So TR is a new row which should be aligned center. Okay. And TH, this is an empty TH. You can see here, this is an empty TH, you haven't written anything. Now coming to the column label another and still another one. So here you have a bold text which is a TH tag. And now coming to the another row. So this row is finished. Okay, align. Sorry, this one. Column left, this one is done. Now coming to the next row. Next row you have given a text as align, that is a header. So it is represented in a dark font color. Next coming to align is equal to left. So this left property helps your text like left text, right? This text should have the particular TD element. So what happened here? You can have the text as left. Okay, align is equal to center. You have right. So in similar way we can have a center text. We have a right text. Now coming to the next row. Okay, so now this row is done. To the next row, we align default top and bottom. So here you can see like there is a break tag. See what happens here? You got something break here. V align will be like, it can be like here in the center of the cell. It's not mandatory that you should give a break. We just want to represent the text. That's it. Okay. Here it will be like this. Next comes a default text, that is a one of the TD. So it is not having any property like. The reason why we have given breaks is like we want to show you differentiate between a top and bottom. This will be the default. V align is equal to top. So for what? For this entire cell, if you don't have any space around, you can't differentiate like what is the top. It will be taking the same position. So in order to differentiate, I have just given a break tags. Now if you give it a top, it will come to the top. Otherwise it comes to the bottom. This is about this cell align. Is my voice audible to everyone? Sorry, somehow the my video got disconnected. Yeah. Actually, I'm not sharing the PPT. I'm sharing my desktop. You can see the code on my desktop. Okay. Just let me confirm whether you are able to see my desktop where I'm showing the is equal to notepad. Or is it? I'll share it again. I think few of you are not able to see my desktop. Now I hope you can see my desktop. Just reply me back if you are unable to see my desktop. You can see my screen. Just hold on. I'll just check it once again. Now also it is not visible to you. I'll just quickly fix it. Just, so I'll do one thing. In the meanwhile, I'll be uploading some notepad documents so that yeah, I'll just log in and I'll just re-log in. Please wait for 2 minutes. So now I'm sharing my desktop. Please let me know if you are able to see. Just let me know if you are able to see my screen so that I just continue my session. Yes, fine, right? Okay. So now coming to the cell span. Okay. So this is the example to understand the row span and the column span code. Okay, so this is a comment which we have mentioned here. So again, table, you will have a table caption within the row. If you give the row span as 2, then what happens means you can have the 2 rows combined, as you can see here. See, first 2 rows are combined here. And you can easily see the rows beside it, like fruit juice drinks is one of the row and apple orange screwdriver. These are placed in another rows. And this dark text, you can see these are like headers. And this is also header. And again, this will be like TDs. So here you have combined 2 rows and you have not mentioned any text. So here you have an empty combined 2 rows. Here you have combined 3 columns. Apple, orange and screwdriver are the 3 columns. So in the first row, what happened? You have combined these 3 columns. So here you can see the call span as 3. Okay. So this is about the thing which we have done previously. So these are like TD content 100. For all the TDs, you can have the text like this. So now quickly going to the next example. Checkbox. It yesterday, right? So here you can see the label. Let us understand like what is a label tag first. From here, just want to have a discrimination. So here you can see that within the label you have an input type is equal to checkbox, name is equal to groceries, value is equal to milk, and checked is equal to checked. You can either mention checked is equal to checked in order to get the default tick mark as shown here, or otherwise what you will do is like you can also have this shorthand notation like checked is equal to checked. Okay. So you can write checked is equal to checked or only checked attribute. It will be default checked. So now coming to here, you can see like here you haven't given any checked kind of thing. So you can have a normal checkbox. Here also same thing. Okay, fine. Now you can see like this is an input tag and this is another input tag which has a label and which doesn't have a label. So I just want to show you like there will not be between these two things. But in future case, how you will write like label. Okay. For this label, you can have a class like this. Okay. If you give some any class like red and if you do some CSS on which has to get to particular input tag which has to be reflected on tag, you can use the label hat and have a particular class and you can do the manipulation or anything you need. Or you can have a label. Okay. Here this is the starting input tag and you can close the input tag by this notation. Here I will show you. You have to close the input tag by this notation. This is a notation, okay, which you can see here. So this within this label we have an input which has a closing, and now this is the milk which is the label for the particular input tag. So this label tells like For milk, we have this input tag. Again, for bread, we have this input tag. Okay, kind of things. To have the content of the input, we can wrap it in a label tag. So now coming to the next example, contents. So the title same as we discussed before. Now comes the contents of the first frame of the frames.html, which is the table of contents of second frame. So first you understand like how it is displayed. Okay. Now this is fruits, apples. So these are like anchor tags. Okay, these are in a list elements which are unordered list. So that's the reason you got these points as a bullet points. Yeah, just click on the links. So no action appears as of now because you need to specify some link or anything which you need to navigate. If you have a page like apples.html in which you have some content, it will be navigated to the respective pages. This is just for example. Okay. Let's go to the frames first. Here you can observe like this is a frame set where you have 20% and star. So out of 100%, this 20% will be like first column and remaining 80% will be like as a second column. Now you can clearly see the difference of this thing. Okay, friends. In a first thing, just a second. Sorry for the interruption. I'm just stopping my desktop and I'll start it again. So now can you see my desktop? Even now you are not able to see the notepad which has a frames. Okay. So I'm just trying to load the PPT and check with you whether you are able to see or not. So now I'm just starting my sharing, desktop sharing. So now can you see the screen? Still no? Okay. I think you can see the document, right? Yeah, okay. So previously you have seen a code for the frames. I'll try to upload it for just 1 second. I'll just try to upload one of the document. So if it's taking time, I'll just try to share my screen once again. Okay. I think it may take my time. Yeah. Can you see my screen now? Yeah. Okay. Let's quickly continue. So now coming to the frames concept, you have a 20% here where that 20% will be occupied by contents.html. This contents.html is in another notepad. See, this is the contents.html. Okay, all these two files are in a same folder, contents.html and frames.html, fruits.html. These three are like a different different HTML files. Okay, now if you open the contents.html, you have a target like description here. Description, this is a target which you are targeting for apples like a.html. This is another link. This is like a home page. Okay, contents frame. When you run this frames notepad, you can see here we have a 20% which will be your first frame. Contents.html will be placed in your 20% of the frame set. Okay, remaining 80% that will be by fruits, occupied by fruits.html. So if you run it, you can see here, like, see, this first column 20% is occupied by the contents.html, whereas this remaining is occupied by fruits.html. What is your fruits.html? In the folder here, you can see like fruits.html. When you open this notepad, see, your fruits.html has that description which is taken in a frames.html. Okay, which is taken here. Here you have given fruits.html. What happens in this 80%? You have 20% contents.html, that is this notepad, and remaining thing is .html. In this fruits.html, you have the content. So when you have run this frames.html, see, content has apple, banana on your 20%. Okay, this is fruits.html. These two HTMLs are included in the frames.html. So this is the thing, you can have it. Okay, output will be like here, two frames. So from fruits.html you got the input here. This is frames.html. In the frames.html, 20% is your contents.html, which has a anchor links here, and remaining 80% is fruits.html, which has a text from the fruits.html. These two HTMLs are kept in a frame.html. Okay. Now let us go through the definition. Okay. So now coming to the definition.html, we have discussed previously, like we have a DL tag, DT tag, a DD tag, data term. Okay, this is a data list. List all data list. You can have data term, data definition, like this is 152. For this you have a description like this. 172. When you run this, you can get to know like what will be the output. So like this is your heading with 152. This is your description. Data term, data definition. All this together are wrapped. Okay. Now let's go through the grid. See, this is nothing but a simple document where you can just have a simple text. This is your title and your simple text. This has all the headings. Okay. You can have different headings as we discussed before, H1 to H6. Aidance, airplanes, H1, H2, H3. The output, you can see the difference of the like what the different styles of the different headers. Okay. See, H1 has this thing, H2, H3, H4, H5 and H6. So for main headings and all headers of a website, we can use the H1 and H2. And all the remaining things like on left portion or right portions in a website, you see the advertisements kind of things. For that you can have the other. This can be like a main heading. So based on the purpose, you can use whatever the tags that are necessary. Okay. It means it comes to the next line. So alt means about the picture you. Okay. If you give the title also, when you hover on the image, some representation can be seen, like about the image. Okay. So here we don't have an image locally, so it is empty here. Otherwise, you will get an image here. And this is about the alt tag. Okay. These are like headers. Yeah, I'll do one thing. We will proceed with the next session, that is about cascading styles. So whatever the HTMLs I have, I will share it with your team or teachers, and you can have a look about all the HTMLs. And if you have any doubts, you can just come back to me. So all the topics discussed are there. Okay, I'll just share you the whatever the code parts I have. Okay. Now I'll show you the next PPT. So document is still processing. So in the meanwhile, let's discuss about what is meant by cascading style sheet and how it is important in a HTML thing, and how we can connect to the cascading style sheet. Okay. So now coming to the cascading style sheet, the CSS one specification was developed in 1996. So as in HTML, in cascading style sheets also we have different versions. So this is about the introduction of when it was developed. Okay, it was developed in the year 1996, and CSS2 was released in 1998, and CSS3 is on its way. Means it has come up and it is being practically used in a like corporate. So CSS provides the means to control and change the presentation of the HTML documents. So you haven't till now you have only the dummy text. There is no much styling to your text, like any colors or background colors or any kind of other representation. So yeah. Now this CSS provides a means to control and change presentations of the HTML documents. CSS is not technically HTML but can be embedded in HTML documents. So this CSS thing, whatever we have discussed, cascading style sheet, it has to be embedded in the HTML documents. Like we have seen the examples, like there are certain classes, IDs, which we can write in a head part, in a style part of a header section. So like this, we can just embed it in a HTML. We don't have a specific CSS things to be as a HTML. We can just embed it in a HTML to add some styles to the HTML. So style sheets allow you to impose a standard style on the whole document or even a whole collection of documents. So you can have the styles for an entire document. For example, if you consider a body tag, if you can have a color for entire body, or else if you want to have an individual style for individual element, that is also possible. Style is specified for a tag by the value of, okay, style is specified for a tag. For example, if we consider a P tag, for that particular tag, the style specified by the value of its property. Means, for example, if it's a class or it's an ID, if we give it as a red and write the some property like background color for the particular class red, you can see the property. Now coming to the level of styles. So level of style sheets, we have three levels of style sheets. One is inline style sheet, document level style sheets, and external style sheets. We can call the document level style sheets as internal style sheets because we write the document level style sheets or internal style sheets in the header section of your HTML. In the header section of your HTML, you will start a style tag and close the style tag. Style tag you will write like for class we will write as dot class name flower braces starts, and within it you can have the background or any other CSS property. The same paragraph itself, P as you seen before, with the P red, green or something. So this we will put as inline styling. Inline styling means for the same tag there itself we will define the style. Document level style sheets means for we can have the internal style sheet that can be written in a head section in a style tag. External style sheets means like .html file, we will create a .css file, okay, and then .css file we will start writing dot class name and again a flower braces. In that flower braces we can write the code, and we will embed this external style in our HTML using the link rel is equal to style sheet link style type. We will specify something's address. So from the in the source address we will give the path of then what happens with this link rel attribute and attributes. We can embed the external style sheet into our HTML. So when more than one style sheet applies to a specific tag in a document, the low level style sheet has a precedence. So what happens? You have three types of style sheets here: inline, internal, and external. What happens? The inline style have more preference when compared to the internal and external style sheet. For the same class, for example, you have taken a class like dot color. For that, you have given an inline style like P style is equal to color colon green. For same P class, for P like for P tag, you have given in a style like black. In external sheet, for the same P tag, you have given a style like color is equal to some pink. So, out of these three colors, the first inline color, that is green, will take the highest preference and it will show the green color in a document page. So, all these colors may not appear. Okay, this is what the actual sentence, meaning of the sentence is. So, in sense, the browser searches for a style property specification starting with inline and until it finds one or there isn't one. Levels of the style sheets. We have an inline style sheet appear in the tag itself. Within the tag, you can have inline. Document level style sheet appears in the head of the document. That we can call it as internal style sheet also. So, like in your examinations, you document level style. But for like in like projects or somewhere, you can find the terminology like internal style sheet more when compared to document level style. So in your examinations, you will be following this structure only: inline, document level style, and external style sheet. Now linking an external style sheet. So how do you embed an external style sheet into your HTML? Using this link tag which I said before, like a link tag is used that the browser is to fetch and use an external style sheet file. So link a relation is nothing but rel is equal to style sheet. What it is, we just will define like it is a style sheet and type is equal to text slash CSS. So what kind of text it is? It is a casting style sheet. If it's a JavaScript file, again the type will be text slash JavaScript. It defines what kind of text file we are using. Now comes the href. Href is nothing but acts as a source. So you have your file in a particular link or a folder. C colon doc. In document you can have your file or any other folder you can have your file.css. So within the file we can have the set of code like dot class flower braces. In that you can have a color like color or background color or font style font, etc. Any other property of CSS. So external style sheets can be validated using this. So this is given by W3C organization. We can validate the Excel sheet using this particular link. Now coming to the style specification formats. Format depends on the level of the style sheet. For example, inline style sheet. See, for inline style sheet, document level style sheet, and external style sheet, we have a different representations to display our style. The style sheet appears as the value of the style attribute. See, for inline, this is the thing we follow as we discussed before. P tag, starting P tag, then style is equal to this quotation property color or background color or font size or any other thing, colon value. For example, background color is there, we will give red. For example, font is there, some 16 pixels kind of thing. This is property and this is the value of the property. So this is for an inline style which we write in a same tag of the HTML. So like document is still loading. So now let's continue with the next thing, that is document level style. What happens in document level style? In the head part, you can see like a style tag will be there. Okay. In a style tag, you can observe the lines of code like dot class I'm just uploading the file once again. You will be able to see it in a 1 minute. Yeah, in an internal style you can have a style tag in a head section. Within the style you can write like dot that class name. Within the braces you can see like the style like background color red or anything. I'm just going to the particular slide slowly. So this is inline. Now coming to the format for document level. So style sheet appears as a list of rules that are the of a style tag. So this style tag you will write it in a head tag of your HTML. Style tag must include the type attribute set to /CSS. So you beside the style uh, before the closing of the style tag you mention like what is the type you are going to provide. Type is equal to text CSS. The list of rules must be placed in a HTML. Use this particular thing for CSS. So now coming to the general form document level. This is the structure. I'm just zooming it for your better reference. See, this is the style. Type is equal to text/CSS. If you don't specify type also, you will not get any errors. But it is a good practice to follow the what type of file you are using. So here you can have the rules or anything. Okay. Form of the rules. Select a list of the property or value. You have seen, right, a property colon value kind of thing. Term it can be a class, it can be an ID. This we will come up with a description in the next sessions. So each form has certain style rules, as in a content of a style tag. Whatever the content of the style tag we have taken, it has some syntactic rules. Okay. Now coming to the selector forms, simple. Now this is a tag name or a list of tag names separated by the commas. So what these selectors are, like H1, H3, P. For these selectors you can have a H1. No need to write dot or hash before these selectors. You can straight away write these selectors in your CSS like P flower braces starting, and within that flower braces you can assign a color or any other CSS property like a property value pair, and if there is more than one property value pair it should be separated by semicolon. So H1, H3, you can have multiple selectors also. For H1 and H3 you want the background color as red only, then you can separate it by comma H1 comma H3, then the flower braces starts, and within the flower braces you can have the particular style. So contextual selectors, OL, LI, these are the examples of the contextual selectors. For this also no need to have a dot or hash. Dot or hash will be given for within P if you have a class, like P tag has a class or P tag has an ID, dot hash representation in CSS. Otherwise for selectors you can directly write away like P flower braces. Here the problems comes here with selectors is like if you have multiple P's in your HTML page, then in order to differentiate multiple P tags or multiple header tags, then you need to give the classes or IDs. If you have only one P tag, one P selector like in your HTML page, then you can straight away write like P flower braces. Or else if you have multiple P, then you have to distinguish between what are the different P's you have. So assign classes for each P. Now coming to the class selectors, this is about to understand what is a class. Used to allow occurrences of the same tag to use different style specifications. So This we discussed just now. For P tag, for bold tag, for italic tag, you need a color as black only. Then what you will do? You will give, for you have a 5 P tags in your page, one bold tag and one italic tag. So 5 P tags, in order to differentiate between each P tag, you should have a different class names. But if you have 2 P tags with the same class name, like same property value, then you can use this class property tags, not only P tags, for P, for bold, for italic, if the color is red only, then you can use the same class name for the 3 tags. So common style, if you want to achieve, you can have a common class name. Within the common class name, you will write the style as render, which will get to the all the 3 tags. Next, coming to the a style class has a name which is attached to a tag name. See, P has a class called narrow in a HTML. So what will be representation in CSS? P dot narrow, P dot wide kind of thing. So after that, flower braces will start and you will have a property value. So your tag, for the tag you have a class dot narrow. If you have an ID, P hash ID. So this is a representation. See here, for example, if they have given P class is equal to narrow in your HTML. P class equal to wide in your HTML. So what happens? You can write in a CSS like P dot narrow, P dot wide. So I think I'm running out of time. I hope you have a next class now. So I'm just ending the class for today's session. So tomorrow we will discuss about the classes we have, remaining selectors we have, and I will share the examples for your understanding, which we have discussed in a presentation too. So can I understand like whether you have a holidays for the Christmas from tomorrow? So which colleges are going today? I have allowed the permissions to download the document. You can download the document. So whatever the PPTs, PowerPoint presentations are there, I will share with the coordinators. You can get the PPTs from them, and whatever the files are also, I'll just share with them. Okay, I'm just taking off for this session. We'll get back to you in our tomorrow's session.